SBA Publications.
Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope that you are doing nice and you are enjoying your literature book. Today I am here with our chapter number 10 of literature, and the name of our chapter is The Ghost in the Ruins. So let's get started with the reading. Hoo hoo hoo, cried the wind as it swept down from the Himalayan snows. It hurried over the hills and passes and hummed and moaned through the tall pines and deodars. So here is a description of the surroundings of the environment that sets the story. Okay. Now, there was a little haunted hill to stop the wind. So, now we are getting a description of a hill that was haunted that stops the wind. Only a few stunned trees and bushes and the ruins of small settlement. On the slopes of the next hill was a village. People kept large stones on their in roofs to prevent them from being blown off. So people used to keep stones on their roof as there was a chance that the wind will blow their roofs off. There was nearly always a strong wind blowing in these parts. 3 children were spreading clothes out to dry on a low stone wall, putting a stone on each of them. So here we can see some children are drying clothes on a wall and they put stones over the clothes so that they don't get blown away. 11-year-old Usha, dark-haired and rose-cheeked, struggled with her grandfather's long loose shirt. So this 11-year-old Usha, she is struggling with his grandfather's shirt as she is trying to when they were trying to dry up their clothes. Her younger brother Suresh was doing his best to hold down a bedsheet. So they are trying to hold down the clothes because the wind is too heavy. Here, while Usha's friend Binya, a slightly older girl, helped. So Usha's friend Binya was helping in the same. Once everything was firmly held down by stones, they climbed upon the flat rocks. Here they sat and stared across the fields at the ruins on Haunted Hill. I must go to the bazaar today, said Usha. So after being done with the work of their struggle, they were struggling to put the clothes on a surface, and when they succeeded, they sat down and they stared across the fields towards the haunted hill when Usha said that she must go to bazaar. I wish I could come too, said Binya, but I have to help with the cows. So Binya is saying, I wish I could come with you, but I have to help with the cows. I can come, said 8-year-old Suresh. He was always ready to visit the bazaar, which was 3 miles away on the other side of the hill. So, although Binya denied, Suresh was ready to go as he loved to go to bazaar. No, you can't, said Usha. You must help grandfather chop wood. So she says that Suresh must help their grandfather to chop wood. Won't you feel scared returning alone? He asked. There are ghosts on the haunted hill. So her brother is saying that you will be scared as there are ghosts over there. I'll be back before dark. Ghosts don't appear during the day. So she says that I'll be back before it gets dark because in the daytime there are no ghosts. Are there lots of ghosts in the ruins? Asked Binya. So Binya asked, are there really a lots of ghosts? Grandfather says so. He says that over 100 years ago, some Britishers lived on that hill. But the settlement was always being struck by lightning, so they moved away. But if they left, why is the place visited by ghosts? Because grandfather says during a terrible storm, one of the houses was hit by lightning and everyone in it was killed, even the children. So the grandfather tells them the story how Britishers lived there, but because of the lightning that used to be there on the hill, still one house was struck by the lightning and all the people in the house died along with children. How many children? 2, a boy and his sister. Grandfather saw them playing there in the moonlight. So grandfather has seen these dead children playing in the moonlight. Wasn't he frightened? No, old people don't mind ghosts. So here Usha is saying that old people don't mind ghosts. Usha set out for the bazaar at 2 in the afternoon. It was about an hour's walk. The path went through yellow fields of flowering mustard, then along the saddle of the hill, and up straight through the ruins. So the path was through the ruins. Usha had often gone that way to shop at the bazaar or to see her aunt who lived in the town nearby. So Usha often visits that place. She walks through that path. Wildflowers bloomed on the crumbling wall of the ruins. So on the walls of the ruins, there were wildflowers growing. And a wild plum tree grew straight out of the floor of what had once been a hall. It was covered with soft white blossoms. Lizards scuttled over the stones while a whistling thrush, its deep purple plumage glistening in the sunshine, sat on a window sill and sang its heart out. So this is the description of the entire ruins that is pretty frightening. Usha sang too as she skipped lightly along the path, which dipped steeply down the valley and led to the little town with its quaint bazaar. So she walks through the path towards the bazaar while singing. Moving leisurely, Usha bought spices, sugar, and matches. With the 2 rupees she had saved from her pocket money, she chose a necklace of amber colored beads for herself and some marbles for Suresh. Then she had her mother's slippers repaired at a cobbler's shop. So she is doing all the stuff in the market. She buys some spices and sugar, and then she buys a necklace for herself, some marbles for her brother, and gets her mother's slipper repaired. Finally, Usha went to visit Aunt Lakshmi at her flat above the shops. They were talking and drinking cups of hot sweet tea when Usha realized that dark clouds had gathered over the mountains. So here, Usha went to see her aunt, and when she realizes that dark clouds have started to gather around the hills, she quickly picked up her things, said goodbye to her aunt, and set out for the village. She quickly leaves for the village. Strangely, the wind had dropped. The trees were still, the crickets silent. The crows flew round in circles, then settled in an oak tree. So everything suddenly went silent. I must get home before dark, thought Usha, hurrying along the path. So she says that I must get home quickly before it gets dark. But the sky had darkened and a deep rumble echoed over the hills. Usha felt the first heavy drop of the rain hit her cheek. Then suddenly it starts to rain. Holding the shopping bag close to her body, she quickened her pace until she was almost running. The raindrops were coming down faster now. She tried to run, but the rain became faster. Cold, stinging pellets of rain, a flash of lightning sharply outlined the ruins on the hill, and then all was dark again. So it was raining, and then on the ruins it was lightning as well. Night had fallen. I'll have to take shelter in the ruins. She thinks now I'll have to stay in the ruins as I have no more time left. Usha thought and began to run. Suddenly the wind sprang up again, but she did not have to fight it. It was behind her now, helping her along up the steep path and onto the brow of the hill. So now the wind pushed her towards the ruins. There was another flash of lightning followed by a peal of thunder. The ruins loomed before her, grim and forbidding. So again there was lightning and she walked towards ruins. Usha remembered part of an old roof that would give some shelter. So she had seen a part of an old roof. So she thinks I will go get shelter there. It would be better than trying to go on in the dark with the howling wind. She might stray off the path and fall over the edge of the cliff. Hoo, 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 howled the wind. Usha saw the wild plum tree swaying its foliage thrashing against the ground. So she sees the tree swaying in the against the ground. So it is swaying really strongly. She found her way into the ruins. Helped by the constant flicker of lightning, Usha placed her hands against a stone wall and moved sideways. Hoping to reach the sheltered corner, suddenly her hand touched something soft and furry. She gave a startled cry. So, while moving inside the ruins, she tried to find the shelter. So, she was taking the help of a wall because there was no light. So, suddenly she touches something soft and then she cries. Her cry was answered by another, half snarl, half screech, as something leapt away in the darkness. So there was something in the darkness that replied her cry. With a sigh of relief, Usha realized that it was the cat that lived in the ruins. Then she realizes that it was a cat that she touched. For a moment she had been frightened, but now she moved quickly along the wall until she heard the rain drumming on a remnant of a thin roof. Crouched in a corner, she found some shelter. Now, as she moved further, she finds finally a shelter. But the tin sheet groaned and clattered as if it would sail away any moment. But sheet that was giving her shelter, it could move away any moment as it was raining very heavily. Usha remembered that across this empty room stood an old fireplace. Then she remembers that there must be a fireplace. Perhaps it would be drier there, under the blocked chimney, but she would not attempt to find it just now. She might lose her way altogether. Her clothes were soaked and water streamed down from her hair, forming a puddle at her feet. She thought she heard a faint cry. The cat again or an owl? The storm blotted out all other sounds. So, when she tries to move, she finds a puddle at her feet and then again she hears a cry. So she thinks, whose cry is this now, as she could not hear it clearly because of the rain's sound. There had been no time to think of ghosts, but now that she was settled in one place, Usha remembered grandfather's story about the lightning blasted ruins. So now, as she has settled down, now was calming down, she realizes that how her grandfather told her the stories of the lightning that strikes the ruins. She hoped and prayed that lightning would not strike her. Thunder boomed over the hills. Now she's praying that the lightning not strike her. And the lightning came quicker now, and now the lightning has become quicker. Then there was a bigger flash, and for a moment the entire ruins was lit up. And suddenly the lightning gave a huge flash, and all of the ruins were filled with a light. The street of blue sizzled along the floor of the building. Usha was staring straight ahead, and as the opposite wall lit up, she saw, crouching in front of the unused fireplace, two small figures. Children. She sees children across the fireplace. The ghostly figures seemed to look up and stare back at Usha, and then everything was dark again. So, in that small point of time, when the lightning flashes, she sees the two children, the ghost there, and they were looking at Usha as well. And then there was darkness again. Usha's heart was in her mouth. She had seen without doubt two ghosts on the other side of the room. So she was scared. She wasn't going to remain in the ruins 1 minute longer. She ran towards the big gap in the wall through which she had entered. She was halfway across the open space when someone fell against her. So something fell when she was running out of the ruins. Usha stumbled, got up and again bumped into something, and again she bumps into something. She gave a frightened scream. Someone else also screamed. And then there was a shout, a boy's shout, and Usha instantly recognized his voice. Suresh? Usha? Binya? They fell into each other's arms, so surprised and relieved that all they could do was laugh and giggle and repeat each other's name. So it was not the ghost that Usha has seen, it was Suresh and Binya. Then Usha said, I thought you were ghosts. We thought you were a ghost, said Suresh. Come back under the roof, said Usha. They huddled together in the corner, chattering with excitement and relief, as they have found out that no ghost is there at all. When it grew dark, we came looking for you, said Binya, and then the storm broke. So they went to look for Usha as it was getting dark, but the storm hit already. Shall we run back together? Asked Usha. I don't want to stay here any longer. We'll have to wait, said Binya. The path has fallen away at one place. It won't be safe in the dark in all this rain. So the path has broken for them to reach home. So they have to wait, Binya tells Usha. The storm continued, but they were not afraid now. They gave each other warmth and confidence. Even the ruins did not seem so forbidding. Now, as all of them were together, they were not scared at all. After an hour, the rain stopped and the thunder grew more distant. Towards dawn, the whistling thrush began to sing. Its sweet broken notes flooded the ruins with music. As the sky grew lighter, they saw that the plum tree stood upright again, though it had lost all its blossoms. So, slowly and gradually, the storm stopped. Let's go, said Usha. Outside the ruins, walking along the brow of the hill, they watched the sky grow pink. So now the sky is turning pink as the dawn is arriving. When they were some distance away, Usha looked back and said, "Can you see something behind the wall? It's like a hand waving." "It's just the top of the plum tree," said Binya. "Goodbye, goodbye," they heard voices. "Who said goodbye?" asked Usha. "Not I." "Not I," Suresh and Binya, they say. "I heard someone calling," said Usha. "It's only the wind," assured Binya. Usha looked back at the ruins. The sun had come up and was touching the top of the wall. "Come on," said Suresh. "I'm hungry." They hurried along the path to the village. "Goodbye, goodbye," Usha heard them calling. Was it the wind that was saying goodbye? And with this, our chapter ends. So it was quite a creepy, simply horror, but not actually haunted chapter. So now let's read the vocab. Brow of a hill means top part of a hill. Blotted out means covered something completely. Crouched means sitting with your body close to the ground and legs bent under you. Foliage means the leaves of a tree. Forbidding means frightening and likely to cause harm. Glistening means shining, and grim means unpleasant and depressing. Leisurely means done without hurrying, and pass means a road through mountains. Pellets is small, hard balls. Peel is a loud sound. Plumage is the feathers covering a bird's body. Loomed means appeared as large and frightening. Quaint means attractive in an unusual way. And remnant means a part of something left after other parts have been destroyed. Ruins means parts of a building that remain after it has been destroyed. Saddle means ridge connecting to high areas. Screech is a loud, high, unpleasant noise. Snarl is a deep sound that an animal makes when it is angry. Stunted means not grown or developed as much as it should. Skip means move quickly, making little jumps. And stinging means giving a sharp pain. Thrashing means hitting very hard. And thrush means a bird without a brown back and brown spots on its back. With this, our chapter ends. Now we have this exercise that you have to practice, and I will see you in the next video with another interesting chapter. Till then, keep on reading. Bye-bye.